Are you afraid to discipline your own children? Are you afraid that you might upset them? Are you afraid that you might cause negative memories? Are you afraid that they might fall out with you when they're older? Are you afraid that they will choose not to spend time in your company because you discipline them? I had a conversation with a beautiful woman the other day who's so afraid of making mistakes with her children that sometimes she chooses not to discipline them for fear of making a mistake and for fear of putting a wedge between her and her kids. And I am here to tell you that you are not here to be popular. You're here to get a job done. I often say to my kids, and I don't use the word hate often, I generally say I strongly dislike that. However, I often say to my kids, I'm okay with you hating me right now. That's how much I love you. Okay? I am begging you, please do not fear disciplining your children fairly for fear of all of those things that I just mentioned. Because if we're operating from a space of fear with a lack of discipline, you're sending the wrong message out to these kids. You're sending out a message of it's okay for you to behave that way, it's okay for you to speak that way, there will be no consequences. And what happens is that these little people grow up into big people. And when your little people grow into big teenagers that sometimes we're all looking up at when they get really big, it's very, very hard to put manners on a teenage child when you haven't been putting manners on them until then. If we get it right when they're small, it's easier as they get older. But if we don't put manners on our kids and discipline our children accordingly and give them the right parameters of bouncing off situations, okay, that's wrong, I have to do it this way, okay, that's not great, I have to do it this way, and feeling the discomfort and the pain of the consequences of their actions, what happens is that they go off into the world as adults and understand why they don't understand why everybody is not agreeing with them. They're a bit confused. These people don't agree with me. And then everything is everybody else's fault. That's when the finger starts getting pointed. So we have to make our children aware of how it is that they're behaving and letting them know what's acceptable and unacceptable. We're doing them a disservice if we don't. We have no business in not showing up for our kids and making them resilient young people and preparing them for adulthood. My son keeps reminding me that he's 16 in 4 months' time. And when he turns 16, that means he's going to be 18 in adult in 2 years. I blinked and the child was in nappies. And all of a sudden, I'm looking up at him. Okay? We have to put manners on our children. You are not here to be popular. You're here to get a job done. Get the job done. Slán.